The hills of Appalachia are filled with stories of ghosts and monsters, from the mysterious Mothman of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, to the elusive old men of the mountains and the fearsome snarlygazer of Maryland. But today, we're going to be talking about the Squonk, the Appalachian cryptid so ugly it cries all the time. Step aside, Ryan Gosling. A new It's Literally Me character has entered chat. The Squonk was first published about in Fearsome Creatures of the Lumber Woods in 1910. This was a book written by William T. Cox. This book was meant to act as a field guide of creatures talked about by lumberjacks in lumbering camps, often described to newcomers to the forest. Very similar to the snipe. If you're from Appalachia, you're probably familiar with the concept of snipe hunting. If you're not, in Appalachia and a lot of other places, it's fairly common. If someone is not familiar with the woods or the forest, wherever they join you for like a camping trip or whatever, you convince them to go hunting for snipes. It's a way to entertain everyone else by playing on the gullibleness of, the person not familiar with the woods or forest. And for this book, Cox gathered up many stories that were familiar in lumbering camps across North America, both the United States and Canada. Creatures like the snow wasset, the hodag, and the gumbaroo. But for today's video, we are going to be talking about the Squonk. The Squonk, or the Lamcombracorpus dissolvens, which translates in Latin to a body that dissolves into tears, is a creature said to roam the hemlock forest of southern and eastern Pennsylvania. Very few individuals outside of Pennsylvania had ever heard of the Squonk at the time of Cox writing this book. The creature is said to have misfitting, wrinkly skin that is covered in warts and moles. I imagine like one of those Sphinx cats, the cats that just look like an old man. I'll put a picture of one up here. Because of this, the Squonk is said to be exceedingly unhappy and is constantly weeping. Hunters are said to be able to track the creature by following the tear-stained trails the animal leaves behind when it moves. The Squonk is most easily tracked on cold winter nights where, because of the extreme cold, the Squonk cries slower and prefers to just stay hidden in its hemlock tree burrows. In the 1939 book Fearsome Critters, author Henry H. Tyron adds the Squonk rarely moves on moonlit nights because it's afraid of seeing its own reflection in pools of water or streams, because it's so ugly. Squonks are said to be so bashful and self-conscious of their ugliness, they rarely show their face even to other Squonks. So you might be wondering, how do they... You know what? Don't worry about it. And this paragraph comes straight from Fearsome Creatures. Mr. J.P. Wentling, formerly of Pennsylvania, but now at St. Anthony Park, Minnesota, had a disappointing experience with a Squonk near Mont Alto. He made a clever capture by mimicking the Squonk, aka pretending to cry, and inducing it to hop into a sack, in which he was carrying it home when suddenly the burden lightened and the weeping ceased. Wentling unslung the sack and looked in and found nothing but tears and bubbles. Yeah, when the Squonk is like cornered or scared or startled, it will just dissolve into a puddle of its own tears. In the 2011 Fearsome Critters by Richard Svensson, he goes on to mention, on top of being highly difficult to catch, that the animal's nutritional value is highly speculated. Squonk macros, not great. Today, the Squonk has seen a renaissance in popularity, due in part to just the increase of popularity in cryptids in general. It also helps that the Squonk is seen as just being so ugly, it's kind of cute. Like how some people see pugs? Not me, though. And every August, Johnstown, Pennsylvania has a festival called Squonkapalooza, an entire event dedicated to the ugliest cryptid in the world. Personally, I believe every town in the United States has its monsters, its cryptids, its ghosts, and its folklore. And it's awesome to see small communities who might be struggling financially or struggling to find ways to bring in tourists embracing these traditions and having these unique festivals just to bring people in. But I can already hear some of the folks in the comments wanting to type things like, blah, you shouldn't talk about cryptozoology, what about the science? Personally, I don't care. And if you love hating on small towns because they have cryptid festivals, you should definitely try deodorant. Go touch grass, nerd. But if you like this video, if you like talking about cryptids, ghosts, and other creepy paranormal things, definitely hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. What other topics would you like to see me make videos about? What cryptid festivals have you attended? And until next time, don't forget to stay wild, stay wonderful. If you see a squonk, say something nice to him, and I'll talk to you in the next video.